what's up you guys? How's it going? It's Papa, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my third place Eldlich deck that I just brought back to locals, and it was a blast to be back. I have not played IRL in a while. I've been a little bit busy with work and my social life, and or not my social life, but like my, my life in general. So it was nice to finally go ahead and play, and I did competitively well than I thought I was going to do. And I'm still on Eldlich. I can't really help it considering Scythe is still in the format, so I don't really feel comfortable playing combo while it's still there. If I had like droplets and stuff, like maybe I'd feel more comfortable playing with it. But since I didn't, I just went with Old Reliable. This deck did really good. I don't think I really messed up too much today, except for the second tournament we did, where I did have a few misplays, but I think tournament 1 was really good. We did 2 tourneys, third place in the first, next 2 in the second, so it is what it is. But I can't really complain with how the deck did. It did really well, and I really like this a lot. I'm really comfortable with it, and I think I'm going to keep playing it going forward. But before we go into the deck profile, I want to give a big shout out to my locals, Top Choice Gaming, out in Colton, California. A lot of these cards that you see in this profile did come from them. Go ahead and check them out on social media. Check them out on Instagram at Top Choice Gaming. But without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into the deck profile. Starting off with the deck, we of course play the 2 copies of Golden Lord. You still don't need 3. This deck is not ever going to play 3, I don't think. If you want to play 3, go ahead. Just know that it's probably bad. Other than the Golden Lords, I do play 2 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. A little different from my past list. I do like Lord in this build a lot, and you'll see why shortly. But Lord is just really good, being able to just be an extra level 10 beater, being a 3000 dick and ass. Like, this card is really busted in this deck, and I was kind of wrong just not playing it in the first place. But after playing it as much as I have, I kind of want to bump it up to 3, but I think 2 is the perfect number for now. So what I've done in my past list is I've not played this engine before, but Karan gave me the idea of playing it because he said he had success with it. It's not his exact list, but I do like these cards, and they definitely overperformed today. We played 1 copy of Lancea and 1 copy of Scythe in the main deck. So hear me out. Don't click away. Scythe is busted. And I know it should have been banned, but since it didn't, we're going to go ahead and play it. And these cards overperformed today. Lancea wasn't as good as Scythe, but Scythe was just insane. And just the fact that you can still set this and still be able to resolve it in the graveyard is just busted too. But I really like this monster lineup. I think it was perfect. I don't think I would change it going forward. These cards were all equally really good. For spells, we played Double Duality and then the 3 copies of Extravagance. I'm not on Prosperity anymore. I was playing Prosperity just for the sole purpose of being able to dig into what I need. This deck is just more aggro, like aggressive control, where we want to just draw cards. We want to just draw anything that we need. You're trying to get to Sanctum. Sanctum actually just being the best trap card in the deck now that we're playing the artifacts. But it's really good. Like, I thought this lineup was perfect. I did side a couple out depending on the deck I was playing against, going first or second, but it is what it is. For traps, there's a lot of them. We're playing 2 copies of Wakero and 3 copies of Conquistador and 3 copies of Sanguine still. Shouldn't come as a surprise. This is literally the perfect Eldlich lineup. 3 copies of Solemn Strike. It's kind of disgusting how much I drew Strike Torrential today. Strike is just the best counter trap in the game, I want to say, right next to Judgment. And that's the other thing. I didn't play Solemn Judgment in the main deck. It's in the side deck, but I didn't play it in the main deck. I actually just didn't see myself needing Judgment and Strike anymore. And when I played today, every game 1, I just did not need it. And Solemn Strike just going first or second is still broken. So I never really missed Judgment in the main. I just thought the 3 strike was okay. And I think going forward, I'm just going to feel the same. Other than that, we played 2 copies of Trap Trick. I did side out the second one every now and then, but I think going second, I sided them both out depending on the matchup. Trap Trick's really good, don't get me wrong. I'm still really big on this card. I just didn't think that today when I played against the decks that I did, was really worth it. So I ended up just siding them out most of the time. Don't get me wrong, this gets you, well, I'll just show you. So we played 2 Punishment. I also feel the same, like this is probably the worst once per turn card in your deck. I know a lot of people may not agree with that, but I thought the 2 punishment was fine. I never really saw myself needing the 3rd because you were trying to resolve Extrav, and I didn't really want to focus on having cards in the extra deck. I just thought they were there just to be there. I thought playing 2 was fine, and it worked out really well for me. 3 Torrential, shouldn't come as a surprise. This card's actually the best normal trap card next to Sanctum. 3 IDP still. It was either play 3 and 2 or 3 and 2 of this. So it really just depends on like your play preference. I thought having the 3 IDP over the punishment was correct, and it actually was, because I stopped a lot of enforcers with IDP, and then I stopped Dragoon as well. Dragoon was surprisingly at a lot of decks at my locals today, and I never did summon it for Dragoon, or activate it for Dragoon, but this card still just overperforms. This card's really good. You should definitely be playing it if you're playing a trap deck. And then the best trap in the deck all day was 3 Sanctum. Like, this card is just insane. Being able to summon from deck, it's basically E-Telly for an artifact. Being able to just resolve your Scythe, resolve your Lancia, because Lancia does activate on the field too, which a lot of people forget. It's just really, really good. I didn't really see the need to not play this at 3, because I definitely wanted to see this more than any other card. Being able to Scythe lock your opponent and then just have them pass, you get all your control back, and you're just in a really good spot. Sanctum was really, really good, and I definitely think I'll play it again going forward. For Floodgates, I didn't play a lot. I only played 5. I played 2 copies of There Can Be Only One. And this is the first time I got to do this, but we did play 3 copies of Skill Drain. 3 Skill Drain, this was just unfair. The amount of times I saw multiples of these was gross. Skill Drain definitely does need to be at 1. For the extra deck, we played 3 copies of Entis still. I know I was on 2 when I was playing Prosperity, but I just bumped it back up to 3 now that we're playing Extrav. 1 Wind Pegasus, 1 Omega. The extra deck's basically the same as any other Eldlich deck I've posted, maybe with like a few different exceptions. Pallades, Sky Palace. This card is actually really good. Being able to have this in case you banish the Gustav Max. I didn't really want to play 2 Gustav Maxes, but Sky Palace did come up every now and then. I never summoned it. I summoned Gustav Max maybe once or twice, and it was basically just GG. So I don't know, maybe going back into the next like tournament I go to with this deck, I might cut this for another Gustav Max, but we'll see. 1 Leap, I summoned this once and it was game. 1 Zeus, I still never summon this because by the time I get to this, the game's over. 1 Link Spider, 1 Imduk, 1 Ferjit, and 1 Nightmare Phoenix. This is 14 cards. This is what I played for my first tournament where I got 3rd place. I did not put the 15th card in. The 15th card was a Nightmare Unicorn, that is just awful glare, awful glare. So I did put in the Nightmare Unicorn for the 2nd tourney, but Nightmare Unicorn was supposed to be in the main extra deck for the 1st tournament, but I just never threw it in there. It never came up, thankfully, but yeah, I played with a 14 card extra deck, but maybe that's what was holding me back, was the 15th card. So that's it for the extra deck. We're going to go right ahead into the side deck. This side deck was like almost perfect. I did misplay a little bit when I get to a certain card, but we played 3 copies of Lava Golem. Shouldn't come as a surprise. I played Lava Golem in basically every Eldlich side deck that I've ever played. Still the best card. 3 evenly matched. I don't want to keep saying shouldn't has come as a surprise because you keep making fun of me for it. 3 evenly matched, but it is basically the win all against Eldlich. And there were a lot of Eldlich players. Thankfully, I didn't have to play against any of them. But if you do, just activate evenly and just hope they don't have Judgment. 3 copies of Judgment, by the way. This is in the side deck, not the main deck for once. I don't know how to feel about it, but I'm very close to the point where I want to put this back in the main deck, but it was really fine being in the side. And then double summon limit. This card's actually really good this format. Being able to just stop your opponent when they're mid combo, because for some reason this remembers. So summon limit's a really dumb card, but honestly, it did a whole lot of work, and I'm really glad I played this card. It was either this or Gozen match, and I was just going to switch out the TC boost for this, going 1st or 2nd, but I'm glad I picked Summon Limit. It was really, really good. This card overperformed, actually. A Pointer of the Red Lotus was honestly really, really strong. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, but then after playing it, holy crap. I kind of want to bump it to 3. If I am going to bump it to 3, I'll probably take out the Red Reboot. I did play this as the 15th card. I never really resolved it. I don't think anyone even red rebooted me today, but I think going forward, I'm going to cut the red reboot for a third pointer because this card was just amazing. So I did play the reboot, and then the last card I played was a Harpy's Feather Duster. I kind of wanted to play Pankratops, but I think the Feather Duster was just correct. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a really fun list, and it's surprisingly cheap if you don't count the skill drains. But this deck did a lot of work, and the artifact cards are just busted. Like, I don't think I would have had as much success as I did if I didn't play them. And it was my first tournament back, and just being able to perform the way I did, I'm honestly really proud with it. I did go undefeated up until the last match, where I lost to Eder, who's just nice. It was a long day. I played 11 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh today, and that was definitely too much. I'm really tired, gonna go to bed, but until next time, guys, this has been Papa, and I will catch you all in my next video. Take care, everyone.